welcome to yet another PSP. Today we are going over the 12th ranked team in our league by your power ranking survey. It is the second expansion team, the Arctic Real Survivors. You know their manager as Minh. I'm really looking forward to kind of diving into another expansion team. I know Ace and I talked a little bit after the first one about just how many trades there were and kind of how many transactions we saw just as the expansion teams kind of put things together. So I think this should be a pretty fun one to review.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's Minh, so we know he's got some fucking devil magic working.
He really does. I mean, I looked at, you look at it, but like, what? This is an expansion team. How did he put this together? It's crazy. I think this is going to be a really fun one, as I said. We will start with those key offseason, the trades and acquisitions. Again, these are only from trades, nothing from the expansion draft, because his whole roster is new. But we'll start off with the ins, where some pretty impressive names came in the pitching staff, in Jesus Luzardo, freshly signed to a new extension, Devin Williams, Sonny Gray, Aaron Nola, and Max Fried. He also grabbed Clark Schmidt on a trade, who is currently on the IL, but should be back around mid-season. And on the bat side, a couple of veteran infielders in Xander Bogaerts and Bryce Harper. The players he lost to acquire those, we saw Ezekiel Tovar, Lars Nootbaar, Garrett Whitlock, Matt McLean, Connolly Early, Ryan Weathers, Nick Lodolo, Seiya Suzuki, Ryan Waldschmidt, Noel V. Marte, Justin Steele, and Zaire Hope, who is a prospect in the Dodgers system. So in terms of the big key acquisitions, that's 8 in and 12 out. So I think Minh did a lot of work kind of using the pool that he drafted from to kind of then go out and get guys that he like really, really wanted.
Yeah, I think it was a big thing too for a lot of people. They were trying to get back the guys they were kind of forced to lose in the pool draft. And Minh, like you mentioned, kind of taking advantage of that, selling at a bit of a premium.
Definitely.
And I mean, yeah, you look at his lineup. He, like you mentioned, he did give up a lot to get to where he's at. But I mean, dude, this is a really solid lineup. That's, in my opinion, ready to compete pretty early.
It really is, and this was something I mentioned earlier in the year in the Discord. Maybe it was a private message. I can't remember, but particularly with fantasy, I think I always tend to chase the true sort of high end talent. So if I can give up 2 or 3 pretty good pieces for one really good piece, for me at least, how I've played fantasy baseball in particular, that's always been the route I've kind of gone for it. And that definitely seems to be the case with Minh. When you're bringing in guys like Max Fried, like Bryce Harper, honestly, at this point, Jesus Luzardo, like with what he did last year and kind of the prospect pedigree that he hadn't quite lived up to, but, clearly found in the past couple of years. Those are some, true top end guys. And obviously giving out, at sort of a 3/4 ratio. He gave up quite a few good guys, losing Suzuki. Matt McLean is one who I think will have a really solid season. And then, a really young guy like Ezekiel Tovar. Like, he definitely lost out on some solid bats, some young arms. But in exchange, there's some of those sort of high-end guys. So we will talk over the lineup. Austin Wells, the Yankees catcher, hometown kid, will be catching for Minh, known Dominican Austin Wells. First base will be manned by Bryce Harper, who lands at number 41 on the IBW Top 1000 Dynasty players list. Xavier Edwards is at second base with Nolan Arenado, newly minted Arizona Diamondback, at third base. Jeremy Pena, although he's technically on the IR right now, should be ready for the season or early on to it. He will be playing shortstop, acquired in the expansion draft. He ranks at 93 on IBW's Top 1000 list. Spencer Steer will be manning the utility infield spot. And Minh's top bat pick from the expansion draft was Riley Green. He'll be in left field, ranked number 44 on IBW's list. TJ Friedel mans center field with Brian Reynolds in right. And it looks like we have Trent Grisham, who was picked up off the waiver wires, in the outfield. And then maybe a mix of Xander Bogaerts and Jason Dominguez in that utility spot.
Yeah, the fact that Minh was able to get 2 top 50 bats already in the lineup is pretty crazy, in my opinion. And I think Jeremy Pena, another one, although he's ranked 93, he's definitely got the potential to finish like top 25. Like, the dude is is, in my opinion, primed for a pop off. And shocker, it would be with Min's first year in the league. But whatever, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, this I think is I first of all totally agree on Pena. I think his relatively low ranking compared to the season he had last year has a lot to do with the fact that it was kind of, other than that 2022 World Series, like the first time we really fully saw it from him. So I think he could shoot up a list like this pretty quickly if we see it again. I think this is really a testament to Min's research and preparation for the expansion draft, that he ended up nabbing 2 top 100 guys in the expansion draft in Pena and Green, and then obviously being able to trade for Bryce Harper. I think there's definitely a little bit of concern on the infield. Steer has not always shown it. Arenado's definitely starting to kind of age out. Xavier Edwards had kind of the one good year, but it wasn't, he's not super standout. So it's definitely, there are those really top end guys in Harper and Pena, but there are some a little bit more iffy ones on the infield. And then really a veteran laden outfield with, Reynolds and Friedel and Grisham there. And then obviously he is hoping, not only for dynasty purposes, but I'm sure for the Yankees as well, that Jason Dominguez does end up turning into the Martian he was projected to be. One other note in the bats. He does have Lourdes Gurriel Jr. On his IR. I think he's out most of the year, not June back, but like August, September. But obviously this is a guy who in the past has been, a relatively premium bat. And especially in a pretty strong Arizona lineup. I think that could be a valuable piece coming back in the next year or so. Sneaky 32. I thought he was quite a bit younger than that, I have to say.
Yeah, that's wow. Really, he's only 32.
Yeah. I don't know. I always associated him with like Vlad and Bo Bichette and Kevin Biggio. So I was like, oh, he's one of the baby Jays. I thought he made like late 20s, but he's 32. Yeah. His brother's like 45. I don't know. Yeah, they came in obviously at really different times in the league, and then crossed over for just a minute there. We will move on now to the pitching staff. Where we see, again, another hometown player in Max Fried, operating as Min's ace. He's ranked at number 54 on the top 1,000 list. Sonny Gray, now of the rival Boston Red Sox, will be manning the number 2. Sonny Gray, and we can't trust everything in these projections. They're not everything, but Sonny Gray is projected for 640 points.
Damn.
That's a lot. I think Sonny Gray is, going to be really solid. He was great last year for, I think, a couple different teams. I want to say Hideki and in 10, maybe even he was on Bose for a minute. Can't quite remember. But Jesus Luzardo is number 3 on that list. Again, as we said, freshly minted off that extension. He is number 84 on IBW's list. Aaron Nola is the number 4 in the rotation. And then for number 5, I listed a combo of Brian Bayo and Luis Gil, a couple AL East guys, both, on the younger side, 26, 27 for Bayo and Gil respectively.
But high upside.
Yeah, high upside, exactly. And that's, I think, kind of the key there. Both feel like they have a lot of room to grow, sort of toward their ceiling. And
knowing Min, they'll grow immediately.
And they will grow immediately. And,
that's just the way it goes.
Cy Young 3 for Bayo this year. Lock in your bets, folks. And then
I'm sure you wouldn't be upset to see that.
Brother, lock me in. Min can have all the Red Sox he wants if they're finishing in Cy Young. And then
don't give him that power.
Yeah, I know, I've got so many too. I could give him. You want Roman Anthony?
You're trying to go for the Triple Crown, aren't you?
I know. I mean, come on. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know.
Oh,
I think
man.
so. I think it would be. Min also has sort of this mid-season deadline acquisition incoming, where he has both Garrett Cole and Shane Bieber. I think they're both out till May, June-ish, so back a little bit earlier than a guy like Gurriel, who we mentioned earlier. But both of those, obviously, former Cy Young winners, very talented starting pitchers, will be returning mid-year for him. Just to quickly round out the bullpen, where he's put together a pretty solid squad, a couple of New York closers.
Shocker.
I know, David Bednar and Devin Williams to start things off, and then Jojo Romero, who looks like he's primed to kind of fully take over that spot in St. Louis, is the third reliever. So, yeah, talk me through. What are you thinking on the pitching staff?
Yeah, I mean, to no surprise, he's got a couple of New York pitchers, one of the Yankee variety. And I think David Bednar is going to be a pretty solid pick here. Not even just for the hometown feel for it, but I truly do think he's going to be a big contributor for New York. I think for whatever you feel about New York, they are a powerhouse year in and year out, and in the regular season, they tend to dominate. So he's going to definitely have a ton of save opportunities, and that's going to be the biggest thing is, as long as you're getting the opportunities, can you capitalize on them? And I feel like he can. Devin Williams, more or less the same thing. And for Jojo Romero, I mean, like, it's the Cardinals, so how competitive are they really going to be? But, in that situation, there's a lot of value to be had. So if like we were talking about with the starting pitching staff, it's just a lot of high upside for Min. And again, knowing him, it's all going to hit, and he's going to finish like first in the league. So this is all for naught what we're saying right now, but I do think he's got like a really solid lineup, and I think he's ready to compete pretty early.
Yeah, I agree. I think Aaron Nola is a really interesting kind of flex player for this. I think if he is, people talk a lot about even year Nola, so that bodes well. How he's been really good in even years and really bad in odd years. He was awful last year. Really, really bad. And he is now 32, so I think Min is probably betting on it being even year Nola, and he'll be better this year. But if he's not as good this year, all of a sudden, you've got Max Fried, Sonny Gray, and Jesus Luzardo, who are a solid 3, but again, after that, it's Bayo and Luis Gil, who have been good, but haven't been, like, lock them into your rotation. You're getting, low 20s from them every time type guys. Ronaldo Lopez and Grant Holmes, a couple guys from Atlanta. So I think having the stability of a fourth guy in Aaron Nola could do a lot for this season. For Min. So I'm really interested to kind of see how that pans out. And then just to kind of see how the bullpen works out. He does have two guys from the same team in Doval and Bednar. Both obviously have closing experience. You wonder if they might, compete for closing jobs at all if Bednar struggles, if Doval might step in. So he has a nice little insurance policy there. And then the thing to really keep an eye on is what does Garrett Cole look like? This was the number one pick in the expansion draft. And obviously we know what kind of a pitcher Garrett Cole can be.
Min's first pick was a Yankee? What?
I know. Who would have thought? I mean,
wow.
JMC, he texted me, right after we set the sort of pools for the draft, and he was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose every single Yankee I have. Yeah, you are. I'm really sorry. It's really brutal for people with, the same favorite team.
Yeah. Thankfully, nobody else is a Dodger fan.
Yep, no, you're all alone there. So you got to keep
yes,
kids now. But, Cole coming back from TJ at 35 though. So what does he look like? And so a lot of, I think similarly with Sault Ste. Marie, there's quite a bit of variance potential. I think particularly in the pitching staff, which shocker, that's kind of how all pitchers are. But this is definitely, I think, something to keep an eye on. I think the pitching staff is what flexes Min kind of between a, 12 to 10 range team or like a 8 to 6 range team, like potentially looking at a playoff spot, depending on how well this pitching staff performs. So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think, like I said, Min, not to talk bad on any team, and I promise it's not what I'm doing here, but I feel like Min, out of the two expansion teams, is kind of set up for success more immediate versus the other one. KJ's team is set up for a little bit more towards the future. So I'm kind of excited to see how each of the teams play out, and for all I know, I could be completely wrong, but that's just kind of like my early little take prediction on the two expansion teams at least.
Yeah, no, I think you're definitely right. And I think for both of them ended up kind of working out nicely in terms of the players they were targeting in the draft and in trades after the draft. Where Min's got, quite a few over 30s, some even like mid 30s type guys, real veterans that are gonna, put up solid points right now, but in 2 to 3 years, what is that looking like? Whereas KJ, like you said, does have quite a few more of those younger guys and is kind of looking to, I think, build a strong base and then in a couple years, hopefully turn into, a real powerhouse. So
yeah.
And those, we will talk over the prospects real quick. And again, these are just sort of guys that I think are likely to play or contribute this year. So he's a really solid set of teenagers, like Emil Morales, Eli Willits, and Edward Florentino are all, really solid young prospects, but they're obviously quite a ways away from the majors. So the two guys, once again, shockingly, both Yankees. We will start with prospect number 68 on that list. It is Spencer Jones. I'm sure you all know who Spencer Jones is. He has the rawest of raw power and a strikeout rate to match it. The numbers have sort of popped out from last year. 35 home runs with a 36% K rate.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is like the truest of 3 true outcome type guys. He is going to hit some fucking nukes and he's going to strike out a lot. One piece I actually didn't know was a part of Spencer Jones' game. He's quite quick. He stole 29 bags last year, so almost 30 swipes.
Damn, power and speed?
Exactly. Like, so, if he can put
How's the fielding?
That I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know if Bellinger can play. He can probably play center field.
Oh, Belly can definitely play center field.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Spencer Jones might hit left, and I think he is another very interesting one here where, again, if it pops, it really pops. But, there is a pretty significant risk with that strikeout rate. So, I think the Yankees are looking to give him time at some point this year, so we'll probably see him. And the other one is Elmer Rodriguez, who profiles as kind of a 2-3 starter type, slightly below average command that definitely took a step back last year in the minors, but a really, really solid 5-pitch mix, and pitchability is the name of the game. He had a 2.91 ERA in the upper minors, I think between double and triple A last year. So command this, command that. He had a sub-3 ERA. So, and he's pitched really well in, I think for Puerto Rico in the WBC. So, just another stage against major leaguers that he's kind of showing out there. Fun fact about him, he is one of the rare Red Sox-Yankees trade. He was the 1-for-1 swap for Carlos Narvaez last season, which has actually worked out very nicely for both of us because we don't need more pitching depth, but we really needed a catcher. So that is a fun one there. So there's a couple of Yankees might be making their way into Min's lineup before too long. Let's move on to projections. So before we get onto lineup projections, I do have to say, what is your, well, let me ask this, over or under, let's say 25 times I accidentally call his team Arsenal because the abbreviation ARS is the same as the European football team. You take the over or the under on 25 and a half.
I'm going to say over.
Yeah, that's an easy over. With 23 episodes, I'll definitely do it more than once an episode. So, but yeah, and then what is your record prediction?
So like I mentioned, Min's got the bullshit going for him. So I truly do think that Min's gonna somehow fucking sneak into the playoffs this year, and he is going to be the guy that nobody wants to play come playoff time. I got him going 11-10. Like I mentioned, barely squeaking, and I mean barely squeaking into the playoffs.
Wow. So Ace, that planting your flag is the first of 6 playoff teams. I'm a little more bearish, I have to say. I do have Min at 9-12, missing out on the playoffs. I think it is going to be a very good year, and I think that a 14-team league is going to be more competitive than I think a lot of us are thinking. It's definitely occurring to me that
Isn't it 7 teams? Am I tripping?
No, it's 6. It was 7 in football. Yeah, so it's 6 teams. So yeah, top 6 make.
I might
playoffs.
change. I didn't realize that. He might go 11-10, but he might not sneak in with that
Big
then.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad, man. I'm gonna change this to no. The bullshit isn't real enough, but
not real enough. Yeah. For those of you who don't quite have the backstory there, because Ace have been, we've kind of been yucking on it this whole time. Min has won the baseball league, I want to say 3 times. It might only be 2, but he just sort of has this reputation in the redraft league that we did for so many years of kind of like a Tampa Bay Rays where the second you trade with him, all the players you traded away turn into like superstars, and the guys you get are terrible. And he's obviously just a phenomenal, fantasy player. So that is where kind of all of this bullshit that we're talking about is coming from. I am a little more bearish, like I said, 9-12, and I do think he misses the playoffs this year. As we say it, man, I could go to 10-11. I don't know. It's close. That pitching staff is really impressive with Luzardo, Gray, and Fried. I think that is. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call an audible. I'm going to go to 10-11. Still missing out on the playoffs, but I do think we see a 10-win team.
Ooh, all right, double-digit wins.
Year. So, yeah, I think we're seeing in double digits. This will be an interesting one. I'm fascinated to watch these expansion teams and see how they both go. I think they're going to be really interesting to watch this whole time.
It's definitely going to be a case where like one team truly pops off and is like in playoff contention, and the other team is just absolutely bottom of the barrel basement. I just don't know which is which.
Yeah, it really could be either. It'll be a lot of fun. Well, we will see you again tomorrow for our 11th ranked team. For today, that is us signing off.
Do you know what that makes you, Larry? Lollygaggers.